Hello, Heat Seekers. It's Chris Jack back with another peek behind the door of the Heat Sheet Advent Calendar. And today's one's a wee bit self indulgent. We're going to look at the top 5 interviews that we've done on the Heat Sheet this year. So, when we started the Heat Sheet, the idea was that we were going to get a lot of interviews with up and coming wrestlers and any other wrestlers we could get a hold of as we look to sort of build up a platform. And the first main interview that we actually got wasn't with a wrestler at all. It was with wrestling fan and he's not really an up and coming comedian, but he's a well established comedian here in Northern Ireland called William Thompson. Now, Willie, just before WrestleMania, he and a few of the other lads involved in the Northern Irish comedy scene were putting on a show at Black Box in Belfast, sort of like a panel show based around wrestling. And we spoke to Willie ahead of that and just got his views on not just the wider world of wrestling, but also the Irish and Northern Irish scene, which I was fortunate to be a part of for a while. We found out they had trained a little bit and that he'd love to get into management. So if you scroll through the archives on YouTube, you'll be able to find the chat with Willie T right there. And you can also see him on the BBC iPlayer at the moment in Chancers, a little sketch show done by the likes of Shane Todd and Kieran Bartlett and William himself. Keeping with the Irish wrestling theme, we also spoke to Debbie Keitel. Debbie was coming off the back of a great run in Fight Factory Pro Wrestling down in Dublin, where she had gone through multiple character changes as Death Proof Debbie. So we spoke to her about that. We spoke to her about her time wrestling across Europe, and also about all the people that she's helped to train. Most notably at the moment, Lyra Valkyria, who she was one half of the Woke Queens with. Debbie has a great relationship with her, and between herself and Katie Harvey, they've been training lots of the most talented Irish wrestlers that are making waves across the world at the moment. As I say, we've got Lyra in WWE, LJ Cleary and Myla Grace over in Japan, and if rumour is to be believed, Debbie herself is just about to make a fairly big step in her own wrestling career as well. So that's something to watch out for in 2025. But go back in YouTube and watch our chat from earlier in 2024. Probably one of my most enjoyable chats with a wrestler this year was with Jake Something of TNA through Simon Rothstein in TNA's sort of media channel. I got the opportunity to talk to Jake earlier this year about a lot of things. We spoke about his ambitions in TNA, his training, his feuds, and the likes of the former WWE guys that were coming into the company. And then we had a really, really good chat about food, about our favourite post-match meals and things like that as well. So quite a wholesome chat with a wrestler. Go back and view that video as well. Now, through my shoot job, I was lucky enough to do a wee bit of things for TalkSport as well, which I managed to chuck onto the Heat Sheet feed. And that included not one, but 2 chats with Drew McIntyre. One ahead of WrestleMania, one ahead of the WrestleMania tour, which was coming to Belfast, and one ahead of Clash at the Castle, arguably the biggest show for Scottish fans this year. There's 2 chats on the channel from that, where I get to do a bit of a deep dive where we drew into what it was like to get back home, perform in front of local crowds. With the post-WrestleMania chat, we spoke about the possibility of him getting to wrestle in Scotland, at which point Clash at the Castle hadn't been announced. And then subsequently, just before Clash, I got another opportunity to talk to him as well. So again, both of those chats can be found on our YouTube channel, and I think there's a few TikToks kicking about from those as well. And number 1 for me, which actually I don't think featured in any of the podcasts, but was certainly a big part of my wrestling interview stuff this year. As I mentioned in the last section there, through TalkSport, I managed to do a couple of wrestling-based things, and one of those things was get into the press conference after Clash at the Castle, where I managed to speak I managed to ask a question to none other than CM Punk, hot off the heels of him costing Drew McIntyre the WWE Championship in his hometown. Probably the most hated man in Glasgow that night. He came into the press conference wearing a Celtic top, and I got to ask him a question in regards to his motives for travelling all the way from Chicago to Glasgow just to screw Drew out of it. And I got a really, really good answer. Probably my professional, is it professional? I don't know. Highlight of the year, the fact that when he was given the answer, he was looking directly at me. It felt as if I was the only person in the room. And it was just one of those experiences that I'm never ever going to forget. Now, it's not on the Heat Sheet YouTube channel, but if you look up the WWE press conference from the Clash at the Castle, it's still on YouTube, it's still there, and you can still hear me stuttering as I try to get my question out as well.